we do want to mention a few things that are coming up that we're already working on, because lobbying in peer doesn't start in January. It's ongoing right now. We're doing the groundwork, we're doing the research, and one of the issues, Norman, would you come up here? Because he's been doing all the work on this. He briefs me regularly on this. And one of the things we know we're going to have to deal with is physician-assisted suicide. Whew. I thought they took an oath to preserve life. Anyway, Norman, would you brief them as you brief me on what's going on with that?
And I'll start with this. They say never correct your boss, right? We're not calling it physician-assisted suicide, because it's not. If once you get into the details of it, for example, the newspapers, I think they're liking to call it physician-assisted dying. Okay, whatever, that's fluff. So the measure is going to be on the ballot if they can get their signatures. They don't have them yet. So I'm not going to bore you with a whole bunch of details of all the minute details of the thing, because it's not even on the ballot yet. It'll be a little over a year. Here's what you do need to know. We're not talking about people that are basically dead. The qualification for this program is 6 months that your sickness or illness will most likely kill you if you don't have treatment. If you have diabetes and you go off your insulin, anything like that, you qualify. And they say it's physician assisted. No, it's not. You ask the doc for the pill, he gives you the pill, that's it. And so I'm not going to give you all the details of it, but I'm going to give you a scenario that can and probably will happen if this passes, and it'll explain most of the flaws with the measure. So, the 6-month requirement. Dad's got an illness that without treatment, within 6 months, doctor thinks, yes, if we pull the treatment within 6 months, Dad will probably be a goner. Son says, cool, Dad's got a lot of money, I don't want to wait. He gets someone else with him. One of the witnesses has to be an heir, one is a non-heir. Goes with Dad to the doctor, and son says, hey, Doc, Dad thinks he kind of wants to call it quits. Doc says, Dad, do you agree? Dad goes, I think so. And the doc kind of questions. He goes, and son, no, Doc, when Dad says I think so, he means yes. That's allowed. The person can speak and interpret what Dad, Mom, whoever says. So Dad says, yeah, maybe. In his mind, he's really just meaning, yeah, maybe. But son says, yep, Dad, when Dad says maybe, that means yes. Okay, 15 days later, they have to do that process again. Dad says maybe, son says yes, doc gives them the pill. They go home, as it has to be taken in private with one witness who can be the heir. The pill is dissolvable in water. So all Dad has done is say maybe twice. And now son has the pill, dissolves it in water, Dad's gone. You say, Norman, that's crazy, that would never happen, you're just pulling stuff out of thin air. No, I'm not. And even Norman, if it did happen, the son would be so screwed, they'd press charges, he'd go to jail. No. If any of this is used, the death certificate will reflect the illness that Dad had. The son, the doctor, the pill, never mentioned. The death certificate reflects diabetes, etc., etc. Case closed, it's over, son gets away with the perfect crime. That's a lot of the major problems with it, and we can get into details, in 6 months when it gets closer. Dr. Fred Deutsch with Right to Life has started a private board and is working on a C3. So we're getting getting boots on the ground to fight this. They're starting their own 501c3, etc. The ball's getting rolling. So this is just a heads up that it might be on the ballot next November. So that's what I've got for you guys, and back to Ed.
Gotta love Norman. If he was shorter, I'd adopt him.